Hi everybody and welcome back to English for You. I'm Pat.
And I'm Laura.
And yesterday we introduced the hot springs of Beitou at the base of Yangmingshan National Park.
And it's super convenient to get there because thanks to the MRT.
Yep. Yeah, you can use the public hot springs, which is where you share the areas with people and you keep your clothes on, or go to a hot spring hotel and just bathe naked. Why not?
I think I would like that actually.
I've done it. It's fun. Yeah, it's relaxing.
And this is something I learned. I really didn't like the smell of sulfur, but the sulfur in the water is thought to ease pain and improve skin health. Yay!
That's handy. So when you've done with your hot spring, you can also visit Hell Valley or Beitou's Thermal Valley. It got the name Hell Valley for its heat and its smell.
Okay, the water bubbles at 100 degrees and there's steam in the air, so I guess that's quite pretty. What a sight.
It was very popular when Japan or Taiwan was one of Japan's colonies, the colonial period.
Yes.
But what else can people see and do in Beitou? Let's read on in part 2 of our article.
Reading. Nature, history, and culture in beautiful Beitou. At Beitou Hot Spring Museum, you'll learn information on the science and history of local hot springs. The building was built as a public bathhouse in 1913 during Japanese rule. It was the largest bathhouse in East Asia at the time. After World War II, the building served as a police station and as Guomindang headquarters, among other things. It became a historic building in 1997 and opened to the public as a museum in 1998. Finish your trip to Beitou with a visit to the Taipei Public Library Beitou branch. This was the first green library to be built in Taiwan. It opened in 2006. The building looks like a giant wooden ark and features solar panels on the roof to create efficient energy. The building also saves water by using rain to flush the library's toilets. The large windows allow in natural light, which saves electricity. It's pleasant to read in this quiet environment. Enjoy the experiences of Beitou, a treasure and one of northern Taipei's most popular visitor spots.
So we're discussing other things to do in Beitou. You've seen the hot springs, you've had a nice warm bath. What else is there? The article begins here. At Beitou Hot Spring Museum, so we're learning, not just relaxing, you'll learn information on the science and history of local hot springs. So of course information is facts, it's details, it's dates and names and who did this and what does this do and how does this work, all of those kind of questions. You might notice we could use different prepositions with information. You can say I want some information on something or some information about something. Both are absolutely fine. So we could say we used to get information on things from library books. Now we just go online.
Super convenient. Information, 大家对这个字应该不陌生吧？就是资讯啊、资料，它是一个名词哦。那通常我们会说 information on or about something， 就是某事物的资讯或是资料。注意 information do not add s， 不要加 s 讲 informations。那如果真的要说，他告诉我一个很重要的讯息，你可以这么说 Celine told me an interesting piece of information， 一则消息可以用 piece。 Or you could say, are you sure this information is accurate? 你确定这个资讯是正确的、准确的吗？我们来看回刚刚课文提到的是，在北投温泉博物馆，你会学到当地温泉的自然科学和历史这些的资料哦。
So let's find out some information about the building itself. The article says, the building was built as a public bathhouse in 1913 during Japanese rule. So again, the colonial period, And back then it was a bathhouse rather than a museum. A bathhouse is just what we call the big public baths, the large ones, the famous ones that people had in Rome thousands of years ago, or the onsen and things like that in Japan now.
Yes, I guess like there's a lot of those in Japan too. Bathhouse 就是公共浴室或是澡堂，它是一个名词。而刚刚课文有提到 rule 这个字哦，这是当作不可数名词，就是有着统治、管辖的意思。所以这个建筑物呢，指的当然就是北投博物馆的前身，就是北投公共浴场，是在日治时期1913年建造的。
Yeah, people didn't always have baths and showers at home, so they could go to a public one. And this was a pretty big one. The article says it was the largest bathhouse in East Asia at the time.
OK， 所以在 East Asia 指的是什么呢？就是东亚。所以在当时，它可是东亚最大的澡堂哦。And next in the article we read, after World War II, the building served as a police station and as Kuomintang headquarters, among other things.
Yeah, so a bunch of different functions for this building, one of which was the headquarters for the Kuomintang. Headquarters is a plural noun. You don't say headquarter, you always see it with the S. And it means the main office, offices, or base of a group, a company, something like that. Now, this is an interesting word because even though it's a plural noun, you can use the singular verb with it because it kind of means it's one place, maybe one building, one set of buildings. You will sometimes see people use the plural form. The headquarters is, the headquarters are. Both are actually correct. In my experience, using the singular verb is probably more common. For example, this company's headquarters is in Nangang, but it has several other offices in Taipei.
I actually use like the singular form too, like is. Headquarters 它是一个名词，虽然它是一个复数形哦，有总部的意思。那后面你是可以接 is 或是 are，OK？像是呢，我跟派都喜欢后面接是单数的 is。The company's headquarters is in New York。OK， 那刚刚还提到动词 serve， 在这里呢，本课解释是用作什么什么，就是可能是主要或是非原定的用途。OK， 那国民党当然指的是中国国民党，那英文的简称为 KMT。所以来补充解释一下，刚刚课文提到的就是在2次世界大战后。此浴场曾一度成为派出所 ，OK， 以及这个国民党总部，当然还有其他用途哦。
Yeah, we say that it was headquarters for the KMT and a police station, among other things. When we use the phrase among other things, we mean that there are other examples. There's probably a long list. But we're not going to list them all. I mean, maybe it was a warehouse. Maybe it was empty for a year. We're not going to include the less interesting stuff. We're going to say the main things, but also add among other things to show there were more examples.
对，我其实有 Google， 它真的当时有很多用途，所以我们这里用 among other things， 就是除了已经提到的呢，还有其他很多的东西。那在这里是很多的用途哦。
The article then says it became a historic building in 1997 and opened to the public as a museum in 1998. Now, sometimes you will see people say an historic building. It's just a different way of talking. There's nothing wrong either way. You can say a historic, you can say an historic. Because it's one of those words that kind of starts with a vowel sound.
Like our.
Yeah,
right?
You might hear some people use an historic rather than a historic. But really, both are fine. Don't worry about it. But what does the word historic actually mean? Let's check it out. The adjective historic means it's important to history or important because of a thing's history. We could talk about a historic deal between two companies that made everybody rich. We could talk about people making a historic mistake. That was a mistake that really did change something about history. Here's another example. The historic peace agreement put an end to decades of fighting between the two countries. and we talk about a historic building, which means it gets recognized. This building is important to history. We're giving it a special status, and we won't knock it down or change it too much because it's important to remember this building and all its history.
我们应该都知道 history 是历史，对不对？ Historic 就是它的形容词，就是历史上著名或是重要的，甚至还有具有历史意义的意思哦。所以当然 historic buildings 就是有历史意义的建筑 ，a historic day 具有历史意义的日子 ，a historic moment 一个具有历史意义的时刻，或是 a historic event 就是具有历史意义的事件哦。So, do you think modernizing historic buildings is good or bad? As an example sentence, I'm asking you this.
Yes, sometimes yes, sometimes no.
That's
I
right.
wouldn't say go over and turn this old castle into a bunch of apartments, but sometimes you do need to do it.
That's right. OK, 我们来开始聊一下刚刚课文提到的，就是1997年，其实内政部呢定为这个3级古迹。那之后呢，其实由这个台北市政府民政局有整修为北投温泉的博物馆，然后就有开放给大家参观，所以我有再补充一下它的后面的历史背景啦。
So that's the museum, but there's another cool building to check out up there too. The article says, finish your trip to Beitou with a visit to the Taipei Public Library Beitou branch. So here we're using the word branch not to mean like the arm of a tree, but it's just one of the offices or one of the groups that are part of a large business organization. We often think of libraries and in particular banks. There's not just one Fubon bank in Taipei. There are dozens all over. There's Songshan, Da'an, Banqiao, whatever. They're all over the place, and each one is its own branch of the main Fubon bank. For example, you would say, there are branches of this bank all over the city, so I never have to go far to find one.
Branch 在本课有着分部这样的意思，或是分支机构，它是一个名词哦。举例来说，我们真的可以想到就是银行哦 ，The bank has branches all over the country。所以呢，我们课文提到就是北投，这是旅游最后一站，一定要来参观一下台北市立图书馆的北投分馆哦。
So what's so special about this one? Well, we learn this was the first green library to be built in Taiwan. Of course, we're using this meaning of green to mean environmentally friendly.
Of course, OK. 所以呢，这可是全台湾第一座的绿建筑图书馆哦。那我们形容词的 green 当然指的就是环保的意思啦，不是说它是绿色的哦。OK, now we're going to take a look at this important grammar point. So, let's take a look. 所以当句子中的名词或者名词片语含有序数，也就是 the first, the last 这样的时候呢，它的后面可搭配不定词 to be 来修饰名词哦。那不定词 to be 也可以用关系代名词子句 that 取代。那当先行词是人的时候，也可以将 that改为 who 哦。我们来看一下课文刚刚提到的 This was the first green library to be built in Taiwan. 我们也可以改写为 This was the first green library that was built in Taiwan. 不过接下来 Laura 觉得这个例子大家可能很有感，因为就是 Blackpink， 你们是不是很爱他们呢？ Blackpink was the first K-pop girl group to perform at Coachella. 那我们也可以这样子的改写Blackpink was the first K-pop girl group that performed at Coachella. 你们知道吗 ？Blackpink 它可是第一个在 Coachella 的音乐节表演的韩团，或是韩国女子团体哦，他们超赞的。
So let's get back to looking at the library, and we see it opened in 2006.
OK， 这里的 it 当然就是指台北市立图书馆的北投分馆是在2006年开幕的哦。And next we read, the building looks like a giant wooden ark and features solar panels on the roof to create efficient energy.
That's pretty cool. So it looks like a giant wooden ark. And since we talked about some religious ideas in day one, we've got kind of another one here. Ark, A-R-K, this is a large boat or ship that is supposed to look like the one in the story of Noah's Ark.
Exactly.
Of course, with two of every animal kind of thing. So yeah, an ark building, it's just kind of got that slightly kind of ship or boat kind of shape to it. Long sides going to a point sort of thing.
大家如果听到诺亚方舟 Noah's Ark 就会知道这个字了 Ark 就是方舟，所以建筑物的外观就好像是一艘大方舟或是大木船啦。
And it's got solar panels on its roof. Of course, you probably know solar panels. This is a piece of technology that turns sun energy into electricity.
OK， 那其实 solar panel 就是太阳能电池板哦。那我有稍微 Google 一下，他说这个图书馆的屋顶更是一大特点哦，它是有采用轻质生态的屋顶，然后并设有太阳能光电板，能用最环保的方式提供有效能源，太厉害了。
Yeah, it makes the building pretty energy efficient. Efficient can have a couple of meanings, so let's find out what we're talking about here. Something that is efficient works well. It doesn't waste time or waste energy. It gets the job done in kind of the best and easiest and quickest way possible while still doing a good job. You could talk about an efficient worker who gets a lot of jobs done in a fairly short period of time. Now, in this case, it also carries the meaning of being clean and sustainable. Energy efficient is something, could be a building or a device, that doesn't waste a lot of energy. It doesn't burn a lot of power to keep it going. For example, this kettle is very efficient. It boils water quickly and doesn't use much power.
So efficient is an adjective, 是一个形容词，就是效率高的。举例来说 U-bikes or bicycles are a cheap and efficient form of transportation.
Yeah, now the library doesn't just save electricity, we see it saves something else. The article says the building also saves water by using rain to flush the library's toilets.
Super smart.
Yeah, now here we've got the verb flush, to clean out what's in a toilet by pushing water through it. We don't only use the verb for toilets, though. You could kind of flush out a sink if you thought about it by kind of just washing it with water. And we'd actually, if you use certain eye liquids, we could say flush out your eye and clean out any gunk or dust in it with water or eye drops or something else.
Flush 这个字呢，一般我们就是用来表示冲马桶的那个冲，它是一个动词哦。所以我再来补充一下哦，因为我真的有去看它的一些介绍。他说它的斜坡造型的屋顶设计可以回收雨水哦，并且用来除了刚刚有提到课文是可以冲厕所的水，还可以灌溉植物哦。
And here's another reason why it's a green library. The large windows allow in natural light, which saves electricity. To allow in just means to let something in, to allow something to pass through and into a place.
我懂 allow in something or somebody 就是允许什么什么进入，所以它的大窗户也会让自然光照射进来，帮助节能省电呢。Super green.
And of course, electricity. If I'm getting sciencey, I'd say this is the power or charge when charged particles either gather together, that's static electricity, or move along a wire, which is current electricity. But of course, you just think of it as, it's the lights, it's the stuff in the wall. I plug my thing into the hole in the wall and my phone charges. You know what we mean. So here's an example sentence. Some cars these days can be powered by electricity instead of gas.
Electricity 我们每天都需要用它，当然就是电或者是电力啦，它是一个名词哦。
And of course, with all this light coming in, it's a very nice space. The article says, it's pleasant to read in this quiet environment.
For sure, 在这个安静的环境阅读就是非常棒啦。And last we read, enjoy the experiences of Beitou, a treasure and one of northern Taipei's most popular visitor spots. 就是享受来一趟北投之旅的经验吧。北投就像是一个 treasure 宝物哦，也是台湾最有名的观光景点之一哦。我们来看一下 treasure 这个名词，原本的意思当然是有 财宝或是珍宝的意思。可是这里特别就是用来形容北投就像是一个宝物，有许多价值和待发掘的地方哦。
And that is the end of our article, so let's go to today's For You Chat question.
For You Chat.
So the question is, of all these places in Beitou, which one sounds the most fun? What about the least fun? And why do you think so?
I'm not gonna really say the least fun because I think I will visit all of them.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the library one and I've seen so many pictures, and because of this article I actually Googled a lot and I was like, I have to go there. It looks so pretty and it's so green. I like that idea.
Yeah, I mean, some people would say library, that's not fun. Museum, that's not fun. Other, video games are fun, but it depends on what you think of as being fun. Yeah, sure, going in the hot water, getting in the hot springs, seeing a big bubbly lake. That's the sort of place, and I have taken my family there to have a look around, check it out. We didn't go inside the library. I don't think we went inside the museum, but certainly I would say, yeah, you've definitely got to go and check it out. It just all depends on what you like to do.
Yeah, you can take lots of pictures
Yeah,
in the,
if you like that, if you want to go in a nice building, read a book, you could have a lot of fun reading a good book. But that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching, everybody. For English for You, I'm Pat.
And I'm Laura.
And we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Vocabulary Review.
Information. We're going mountain climbing this weekend. If you'd like to join us, I can give you more information about it. Headquarters. Our company headquarters is in Taipei, but we have offices in many other cities in Taiwan. Historic. Lizzie is doing a report about her town's past, so she started by visiting all the historic places. Branch. Our company has branches in most major cities, which allows us to easily target customers around the world. Efficient. My new refrigerator is so efficient that it uses 40% less power than my old one. Electricity. It seems that our electricity has been cut off because the lights don't work in any room.
智慧小补帖
Bathhouse. Arc. Solar panel. Flush.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net